Hi everyone, I'm Linda.
I'm Mary.
Welcome to part 6 of Mama's Story. I think we might be a minute early today instead of late like we were last week.
That like to drove Linda crazy last week because we couldn't get this camera to work, but I think we got it working this morning. So.
Hi Gina. We're gonna give everybody a couple of minutes because we are just a tiny bit early. Hi Louise. We've been busy working this morning in the kitchen, and we'll be back live again at 11. Mary's making something really delicious for us today, so we hope y'all will join us back then. Hi Stephanie, hi Kate, hi Frankie and David, Patty, Judy, Lorraine, Cindy, hi Cindy and Meridian, Shelly. I feel like I know y'all because we've
had so many followers that have been so sweet and kind to us.
Texted, and we really appreciate it. So I guess Mary, we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and start.
So as y'all know, we've been telling Mama's story.
Yes.
And some of these last parts that we're going to do, we're going to be reading some of it, and there's several reasons for that. I'm hoping that I can read better than I can talk. I'm hoping I can get through it better reading.
This part, like I said, we got 4 more videos of Daddy's and Mama's story starting today, and then we'll have 3 more after this. And so it's going to get a little emotional for Linda, so just bear with us.
And keep in mind that we have skimmed the surface of Mama's story.
I wish we could have read all of it,
but we feel like that we're telling the important parts. We know that there are a lot of families out there that have suffered through maybe not like our situation, because ours is really unique, but through somewhat similar circumstances. So I want to read this to start with. We love all of y'all. We adore our followers. Like Mary and I were saying earlier, we're overwhelmed with the outpouring of love that everyone has shown us.
Yes.
And we realize that everyone may not understand our Mama's decisions, but we were there and we lived it. So we're going to respectfully ask that you not make any negative comments about Mama or our Daddy. Or any questions, or question the decisions that she made. Through much prayer, Mama was doing what she thought was best for us, and for our family.
Yes.
So please keep that in mind. And I know we have thousands of followers, and I'm sure that there'll be some that will say something. But I'm a little bit protective about my family, and I don't want to have to combat what someone says, and I'll try my best not to, but just please respect us. So first of all, we're going to talk about Mama talks about love, and I'm reading this. So
yes,
and this is Mama. As I write these episodes, there have been things brought to my mind that I didn't particularly want to recall. At the same time, I need to accept them, and perhaps I can forget them. And I know we don't forget, but this was what Mama was writing.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about love. We hear preachers talk a lot about love. They preach about love. And I do believe that we must love one another. And again, I'm reading straight from Mama's writing. The Bible speaks of being bound together with cords of love. I think another virtue that we neglect is hope. People are so apt to think, what's the use? We need to be always ready to say there's always hope. In Psalms 39 and 7,
yes.
My hope is in the Lord. And I believe that's Colossians 1:27, Christ in you, the hope of glory. So Mother instilled in us, and Daddy did too, to love one another, and to love people, and to love each other.
Yes. So Daddy, as we told you, whenever he first sold his trucks, the reason he did that was because he was beginning to relive his military time, the service in the military. So he started fishing to make a little extra money, and 2, also as a hobby. So one time, this is one of Mama's stories. She said, I recall one day that he came home with the big fish. And he said, I'm going to take this to the school and show the children at school. He said they were in, talking about us children, we were in high school, which today is a junior high school located on Mountain Street. And some of you from Nacogdoches will know where we're talking about, in Nacogdoches, Texas. He took the fish, and many of the children and the classmates and teachers came out to see it, and it would have weighed 50 to 60 pounds.
And Mary, I remember that real well. We had a 59 Ford
Yes,
that he
we
bought
did.
after
Yes,
he
we
sold
did.
his trucks. It
Yes.
was a brand new car. It was a
Right.
two-tone green. It was a
Right.
beautiful car.
Yeah.
He stood on the top of the hood of that car and held up that fish.
Yeah.
And you talk about some proud
Yeah.
kids. We were
All
so
the
proud
kids
of our
come
daddy
out.
holding up that fish, because
Yeah.
a lot of people had never seen fish that
Yeah.
big. And Daddy had caught fish that big
Yeah, he
before
had.
when we were younger. But I just thought it was
I
so
think
sweet.
we posted that picture before, hadn't
Yes.
we? Of him with the fish, with one
There's
of
a
the fish
picture
that he caught. Yeah.
Now we hadn't posted it on this site.
Oh, we
but
hadn't?
it's-
Okay,
It's,
okay,
it's on my personal page.
Okay.
But it was just, I thought it was so sweet that Daddy wanted to come and show
Right.
his kids and our classmates what he had caught.
Now, another thing I tell y'all that, and you look at both cameras every once in a while, Linda, please. We're trying to video and record at the same time. When Daddy first started getting sick, like we told you, that he thought he was in the military. His mind would just slip back and forth from the military to reality. And when this first started happening, he would just be going around the house, and he would be talking as if he was talking to someone in the military. And I know one day I was walking down the hall and I heard something. He was in the bathroom, which Daddy took probably 3, 4, 5 times a bath a day, because he was trying to rinse off something off of his skin. He just felt like he was in something, you know. And I heard him talking, and I listened more closely, and he was going up 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2. He thought he was marching in the military, and he was in the bathroom. So just things like that, you know, that we lived, and we tried not to dwell on it. When he was talking like that, we never say anything to him to try to snap him out of it, because that's something you don't do. You just let it happen and let them face it, and then they'll slip back into the reality.
And Mary, I want to say this too, and this is not recorded in what Mama said, but there are many hundreds of thousands of families that have been through some kind of a
Yes.
tragedy in their life, and we know that we're not the only ones. We know that. And while that is a part of you and it affects generations to come, it does not have to ruin your life.
No. You have to just go on with life, so you don't dwell on things like that. We do not dwell on it. We had a happy life, so we dealt with it at the moment. And two, we had the Lord. I'm telling you, we had the Lord. We went to church. We prayed.
We stayed busy.
And we stayed busy.
We
so
did.
we didn't dwell on that. At the moment when we was living the moment of different situations, we would just deal with it. And then we just and one of my favorite songs is still today was "I Just Steal Away Somewhere and Pray."
Yeah, Mary and I used to sing that.
We used to sing that a lot, and that's what we do. We just go somewhere and pray, and you know the Lord always hears us, and He knows our need even before we ask.
He does. And we've said this for a long time. And y'all probably have already realized this, that we're all, our brothers and Mary and I both, we're all pretty much workaholics, and we were taught that idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yes.
And my mama strictly believed you get yourself busy and
Right.
you get over whatever is bothering you upstairs. So anyway, we like to be busy. We like to stay
Yes.
busy. So Mama tells about a time when she, this was probably at the beginning of
Daddy's illness, yeah.
And when he would have a really bad day, the way we described this was Daddy was bad.
Yeah.
That
Daddy
was a term that she used. And then again, I'm going to read this. When Mama really got scared, she said, when I really got scared, the children were all in school. Sorry about that. I don't remember what our conversation was, but Daddy and Mama, she said Cecil and I were in our bedroom, and I don't remember what our conversation was, but I had assured him in the wrong way or something, or wrong tone.
I think it was a tone that Mother used in the conversation that Daddy felt kind
he
of.
felt like that
She was
in
the
his
enemy, that it
mind
was a
that
threat.
she was the enemy, and y'all have to remember there was no such diagnosis as PTSD back then.
Yeah.
This is hundreds and thousands of people that were injured in the war physically. They got Purple Hearts. They got recognition. Now, Daddy did win some different medals, but he wasn't awarded a Purple Heart because
Right.
physically, other than his hearing, he wasn't wounded physically in battle,
Right.
but he was wounded, and it was very much as much or more so than the people that lost a limb or something. So it was that time when Mama realized that she needed to get him to the VA hospital and try to get some help.
And I'd like to tell y'all this: people that was around Daddy, unless he was in that particular moment in his mind, they didn't realize anything was wrong with Daddy. Nobody, his parents did not think it was anything wrong with him. People who did
And they
not,
lived next
and they
door.
lived next door.
They lived next door.
So nobody but us really knew what was going on in his mind.
And we really tried to keep it that
And
way.
we didn't tell anybody about the situation. But anyway, Mother knew that it was time that she had to get him some help when that day that his eyes told her that he was really need to be in the hospital. So then I'm going to read a little bit here. Mother said, it's time for fasting and praying. It seemed as if I prayed day and night when Cecil was so sick. I fasted one time 10 days without eating a bite. And Cecil and Daddy, he never even noticed that Mother wasn't eating, but he did notice that she was praying a lot more than usual. So he knew that that Mother was calling on the Lord to direct her on what to do. And so anyway, Dad was admitted to the hospital. So Mama carried him down to the VA hospital, and he was admitted. And while he was there, they told Mother about a rooming house that was there in Houston. It was on Ben Street, Miss Miller's on Ben Street, and that would accept people that had people in the VA hospital. And so they didn't, when they told Mother that, they didn't know for sure whether or not she had an extra room. But sure enough, she called Miss Miller and she told her to come on out. She had a bed for us. And this was late. This was late at night.
They became very good friends of ours.
Yes. So he was admitted, and that's where we stayed for quite a while there with Miss Miller, off and on. Sometimes I think she just took one or two of us, Linda, right at first.
It was me and you,
and then Miss Miller told her, "You bring all your kids down here. That's okay. You bring them all down here." And so Mama did for a short time. And another thing, Linda,
but Charles, I don't think
Charles went. Yeah, in one of her notes, I read that Charles and Edward went with her one time.
Okay, well, I've forgotten about that.
Edward and Charles got jobs there in Houston. He was just a kid. Well, he was. Well, how old was he? About 16, 17?
Probably.
I think I was 15.
Yeah, probably 16.
And he got him some jobs, walked. We didn't have the gas money. We have told y'all before, how blessed we are. We are blessed. We never really had experience of really not having everything. Not everything, but
we
the
had
necessities.
everything
We had
needed.
necessities.
We had what we
But
needed.
during this time that Daddy was not able to work and he was in the hospital, we did not have much at all. We lived
really, very meagerly.
Yes, we did. And whenever Mother was trying to, so they told about the people there at the VA, it was a man there, Linda, that was staying at Miss Miller's. It was a man staying at Miss Miller's that had connections with the VA, and he's told Mother how to try to get him on service-connected disability. And remember, you and I walked down there. We walked long. It was a long ways to that ministry because Mother only had so much money for gas.
We didn't even have money for bus fare.
No, and she only had enough money to get to see Daddy because it was too far to walk. I think Mama did walk some to the VA.
She probably
It was quite
did.
a ways, but at that time, she was saving her gas for to go to the VA to see Daddy, and we would walk. I remember it. We walked so far that day into town to talk to the administrator, and we was there most of the day.
And keep in mind, Mary, that we told in another part that Daddy was discharged, honorably discharged with the Army with a 30% disability. We were living off of $55
$55 a month. That's what we had.
6.
Yeah. So anyway, she got the papers done, and that was another prayer answered. It probably wasn't maybe 3 months. I think it took about 3 months to get him on disability. But when they did, he was 100% disabled. And so anyway, that is up to there. And
I may be getting ahead of ourselves, Mary, but Daddy was in and out of the VA from the time I was in.
I was in the 7th
or the 6th grade.
I
Must have
was
been
in
the 6th.
I was in the 7th grade when Daddy first went to the hospital. I was in the 7th grade, and I was a senior when he died.
Right, and so he would go, and there would be times that he would come home and he'd go back, and it didn't matter how many people was in that waiting room. And that VA hospital is huge. And we would go down there sometimes, get there late at night when Daddy would be so bad. And probably 100, 200 people in the waiting room and waiting to get in. When my daddy walked in that door, they took him back.
Yes, they did.
Immediately.
They did. They took Daddy right on back. Okay, so I guess we'll end on this little note
So
for this morning.
Okay, so Daddy was in the hospital. Mama said Cecil was in the hospital at this time. She titled it One Rainy Night. And Mary, Linda, and I went as far as Diboll. Diboll's probably 25 miles from Nacogdoches. Or 20,
yeah.
maybe 20 miles.
It's about 50. It's 75 miles because it's further than that because I go to camp at Lufkin.
From Nacogdoches to Diboll.
From Nacogdoches to Diboll was probably about 90 miles.
Okay, so that helped us by staying it with our Aunt Laverne and Mama's sister, and we spent the night with them and Uncle Aubrey and their family. And she did this many times. Mama did this many times, so she wouldn't have to get up so early to leave. And we left there about 3 o'clock that morning.
Yeah.
And
It's okay. Go ahead and read that one.
and we were traveling down 59 South, and this was back in the
two-lane
early
road.
60s. It
59 was a two-lane road.
And anyone that's ever been to East Texas or been on that highway, especially years ago, it was tree lined, and I mean it was spooky to say the least at night.
It was dark.
There was no street lights. There were no exits except for I don't know, 25 or 30 miles to get off at a town, and then you didn't know if there'd be anything open or not. So this was not 2020. This was back in the early 60s. So we were traveling down the road south. I believe Mary was in the front seat and you were, and I was in the back seat. I remember this well.
Oh, I do
and
too.
all of a sudden, Mary said, "Mama, watch, there's a man in the road." And she didn't say this alarmingly. She just, in casual conversation, Mary said,
I thought Mama seen
"Mama,
him.
there's a man in the road."
I thought Mama seen him.
And when she said in the road, he was not only in the road, he was in the middle of her side of the road.
And there was 2 other men on the side of
Yes.
the road, besides him being in the
And
middle of the road.
Mama barely missed him. I guess he jumped out of the way.
I don't know. It was just a miracle Mama didn't hit him, but she said, "I'm not stopping," and she just kept going.
And he yelled something.
Yeah.
We didn't know what he yelled, but he yelled something. And there was no one in the car, nobody in view anywhere. In fact, there wasn't room to even park a car in that area. And it really excited us. And Mama did not drive fast.
No,
she
she
didn't even
didn't.
like to be in the car with anybody driving fast. And she drove at least 80 miles an hour until we got to Cleveland, which was the next town.
Yeah.
And then we thought that it was safe for us to stop and take a breath of and get refreshed. And we never, Mama said she never told Cecil about this. It would have upset him really badly. So Daddy never even knew that happened.
Okay, that was just one of our trips to Houston. It was a long summer of going back and forth. But anyway, Mother was, she was a strong lady. She was a strong,
very
strong lady, and she kept us in good spirits and made sure that we understood, that that Daddy was just suffering from his service to the country.
And for years after Daddy died, we couldn't even put a picture of him out, and we didn't talk about it as a family. Mary and I would talk about it. Edward and I would talk about it. Did you ever talk to Charles about it?
I don't think I ever talked to Charles. I don't think I
It
did.
it was just something that we just kept.
We knew what it was, and we just didn't talk about it because we just didn't think that would. We stayed busy. We went to church.
Yeah, we did.
Every time there was a service, anywhere 50 miles radius, us children would be in the car going to church and some revival or something all the time.
But I also wanted, yes, we did. We stayed extremely busy, and Daddy was very supportive of us going to church.
Yes.
Never got in the car that he didn't have it filled with gas.
Yes,
right?
and another thing is when Daddy first started getting sick, Daddy hadn't been going to church with us much because he was on the road all the time. But then when he came home, I think it was in January, he said he was going to start going to church with us. And he did, and he wanted to be baptized. And it was
late
in
at
January.
night,
It was
yes.
January, and so the pastor said, "Well, we'll baptize you." See, so we broke the ice in a lake
For him to be baptized, yes.
It was ice in
He sure
that
did.
lake, but he got baptized, and because he felt like he needed to, because he was thinking about his soul.
Yes. And I also want to say this, and I know I have some personal friends that have had things happen, like I said, kind of along the same line as this. We have never one time been ashamed. Never.
No.
We have not
we
talked
had a-
about it because we wanted to protect him.
Right. Well,
his
that's one
legacy.
reason, y'all, that we started telling Mother's story about how much Daddy was loved, what a gentle person he was. He was not quick to anger. There is more pages in Mother's book uplifting my daddy than it is about the tragedy.
Yes.
She wanted everybody to know first that he was a good man, a gentleman, and she didn't want people to look down on him, regardless of what he was going through.
Absolutely. So in this right now, and we will be back live at 11. Mary's
Yeah,
gonna be
we're
cooking.
going to be cooking
What are
at
you
11
today, Mary?
I am making quesadilla rolls. It's just like a little hors d'oeuvre, finger food.
So
It's
you
real
don't want to
simple.
miss it. Thank you all again for bearing with us while we bear our souls. And you don't want to miss these last three
We only have 3 more.
episodes. And again, we're barely touching the surface, but we're telling what we feel like needs to be told. So thank you again. We
Thank
love
y'all.
you.
Thank
and we'll
you so
see you again at
much.
11.
Bye-bye.
Bye.